Hello everyone, DM Johnny from Dungeons & Dice, and today we're going to go over 8 homebrew Zelda-like items you can add to your D&D campaign. Let's get started. Number 1, you obviously have to have a Master Sword type of thing if you're talking about The Legend of Zelda. So we have the Hero's Blade, you can call it Champion's Blade or something like that if you wish, and this comes in +1, +2, +3 and deals radiant damage. It's up to you what the plus is. And also, it has a feature, a property, that twice per day you can swing the sword and then extend it basically 30 feet, so it sort of becomes like a mini ranged. This is like old school Zelda when you had full HP in the Master Sword and you could shoot your sword out, sort of similar to that, but I limit it to twice per day. You can do a proficiency modifier as well and then just have it recharge at dawn. But the big thing on this is the champion or the heroic critical. That is where you get to roll 2 critical die instead of, or critical dice instead of 1. So you have 3 damage dice instead of 1. In addition, you may re-roll one of those dice, but whatever the next number is, you have to take it. Pretty cool. Check it out. And while I got your attention, if you like magical items, please consider checking out our Patreon. It's right over here. And we have almost 50 magical items on top of a bunch of other stuff. It's only $1 a month for our welcome pack and all of our magic items and our feats and things like that. Check it out if you're interested. We're doing new stuff all the time over there. And for number 2, can't have a sword without a shield, so we have the heroic shield, which is a little bit different. First off, it does have twice per day you can use a reaction shield spell, which gives you 5 extra AC until the start of your next turn, end of your next turn, something like that. It's a free spell, recharges at dawn. Second thing, and this is probably a little bit more important, when you are missed with a direct spell, so let's say like a fire ray misses you, or a chaos bolt misses you, but it still was targeted at you, you can hold the shield up and actually absorb that. Say that it hits your shield and it's into your shield now. Whatever level that is, whatever the modifiers are, you use those when you launch it. You can use it as a bonus action, but you can only absorb 1 per day, so you have to be picky. And the spell basically just stays in the shield, sort of like a spell storing shield, until you use it basically. And for number 3, we have Hero's Half Plate. You can make this into whatever armor you want. Half Plate's medium. You can easily do plate armor, however. The cool thing about this is if you are dropped to 0 hit points, then basically a little healing spirit, a fairy, comes out and heals you for whatever your hit die is, plus your proficiency modifier. So you're healed, basically you get to take another hit. It doesn't mean you won't get smacked the next turn and dropped, and this recharges at the next dawn as well. In addition, you can use the light cantrip on it, just a minor beneficial thing basically. Hey, if you are enjoying this video, please hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate that. We are trying to get 1,000 subscribers and we're like over halfway there, so pretty awesome. And for number 4, to round up the heroic stuff, we have the heroic bow. There's a mosquito on my leg. This heroic bow is pretty simple. Again, this is a +1, +2, or +3, up to the DM. But when you enter combat, you roll a D4. Basically, 1 through 4 is a different element, and that's what, when you put your arrow in for the next 6 seconds, so they can't just make a bunch of magic arrows, it uses that element. So 1 is fire, 2 is ice, 3 is lightning, and 4 is radiant. Stays that way the entire combat. I don't really make this a daily thing, I just make it like every time you enter combat, but it's up to you. If you are thinking you're gonna be in combat a lot, maybe don't do that. And for number 5, we have the pocket bomb. I say that it can't fit into a creature's pocket unless it's medium or larger. So if it was tiny or small, it'd have to actually go in the backpack. That's me, that's just a minor thing for me, because I want you to be able to pull it out, click it. It's basically a bottle. Pull it out, click it, you got 6 seconds, you throw it, 10-foot radius, you can throw it up to 30 feet, and it's like 4d6. If they fail the dex save, which is 13, they take full damage, and if they save, they take half. It's gone after that. It's a one and done. It's something you can easily hand out, maybe like 2, 3 might be pushing it, but simple, consumable basically. Number 6, this is actually called, let me get the name so I get it right. It is Vortrog's Mask. Now, Vortrog is one of our gods of chaos in our world, but it's basically Majora's Mask. And why I use Chaos God is because as a bonus action, you can willingly, with your next attack, it doesn't have to be a spell, next attack, but a spell works as well, you can roll the D100 from the wild magic table. That's it. You can do this 3 times per day. This can be very detrimental to the group, or very beneficial, or completely useless. I think some of them is like your hair color changes, or you have illusionary butterflies, or a fireball explodes right on top of you. So I like this. There's a lot of cool stuff. Your group will either really like it, or really hate it, or well, you might as well. Number 7, we have the Demon King's Spear. This can come in +1, +2, or +3, and is a D8, not a D6, Also, it's a finesse weapon, so Dex users can use it if you want. When combat begins, you'll see I like rolling for things. Roll a d12. Odds it's necrotic damage, even it's radiant damage. This happens every time you enter combat. Otherwise, it's just basic magic. In addition, you can do this twice per day. When you land a strike, you can roll your damage die, which is d8, heal for that much on top of your proficiency modifier. So let's say your proficiency modifier is 2, you roll a d8, you get an 8, 2 plus 8, you heal for 10. You can do this twice per day. This recharges at the next dawn as well. I don't think there's enough spears, like especially magical spears. I think it's because of the d6 thing. It might be because it's a simple weapon. But anyways, nice little fun spear for you to add to your game. Of course, for number 8, I tried to make an ocarina, couldn't get it done. So we have to go with the fairy lute. You can say it's a flute or an ocarina, just use a different picture. Picture I got is a lute. This is a basic, like if you play it for 1 minute, you get to roll on a d4 table and one of 4 effects happens. It's only once per day, but it doesn't mean you, even if it's not magical, you can still use the lute as an instrument or a catalyst for spells for the record. But the 1d4 on 1 is a heal, basically a 1d4 plus your proficiency modifier to anybody that can hear you within 10 feet, but it takes a minute to do this, so you can't really do it in combat. The second one, this will probably be for a late game. If you roll on the 2, you don't really get to choose, I suppose, you roll. The second one is 5 individuals within 30 feet of you get, as long as they can hear you, a temp HP equal to your level. This is going to be great at higher levels, not quite as good at the lower levels. If you roll a 3, pretty simple again, anybody within 10 feet that can hear you gains 10 additional movement until the next long rest, basically. And for the fourth one, everybody within 10 feet that can hear you gains a bardic inspiration that they can use at any time they want. Normally it's like 10 minutes, it's a d6 for the record, but it's ability checks, attacks, and saving throws, and it lasts until your next long rest. All right, that will do it for me. There are 8 Zelda-like items you can add to your D&D campaign, whatever you want. Heck, this weekend if you want. Before I wrap up, I do want to thank our patrons. We do appreciate you guys coming in and chatting with us and of course supporting us. Here's my $5 patrons. We're getting up towards the 2-month streak now, I believe, which is going to be awesome. Might have to check. Some of you guys might already be there, but thank you. Here you all are. And if you want to be up here, guess what? Subscribe, $5. I'll throw your name up there. All right, that will do it for me. If you liked what you saw and got what you needed, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Later, Gators.